How do you reciprocate to the people, environments, and epistemologies that pour into you? That's this week's question for the Prolific Shift Sunday Sit Down, episode 23. I'm trying to start these videos with the question so that people can decide whether or not they want to engage without going through my whole intro. But now to the intro. Welcome to Prolific Shifts, episode 23. I'm Janae Peters. I am the founder, the CEO, I don't have any today. The lead arborist, there are a lot of trees outside of me, the lead astronomer, the astrophysicist, dramaturgic something. I'm all the things for Prolific Shifts right now. Inspired by a lot of people too, just related to this question. I joke on here about everything that I do for it that is me and by me, but that is not it's actually just not accurate. I'm often inspired by people and things and motivated by people and things, and that drives this too. So want to be clear about that. This question is coming to me from an interesting space. Part of it is it's coming from a similar place as last week. So last week's question was where, how, and why do you express and accept leadership? And I was thinking about the passing of my family's church's pastor, Reverend Teresa Hatcher. And in thinking about that, the funeral was just yesterday, and it was a tremendous celebration of life. And I found myself sitting there just thinking about her, even the fact that I couldn't even imagine her not being on this earth, right? Like the kind of weight that leadership can have on people in their worlds and experiences. And I also started thinking about my friend Anita, actually. And I told Anita this morning, or I asked Anita, not unprovoked, but we were texting and had an exchange, and I just sent a wish that said, I hope that you are getting some of the support that I know you are often giving. Anita is one of those people who also has a bright, shining light. And I know what I receive from her. I know how she inspires me. And it makes me, and I know how much she does that for others. And it just makes me wonder, what do those people get from others? And so this question is thinking about Reverend Hatcher, thinking about Anita, thinking about some of my own experiences where somebody will note something that they experienced of me. And when I think about where I get that from, it's hard to know. And I think the times that I have felt most burnt out, it's because I wasn't experiencing exchanges, and part is not on people's part. Sometimes I wasn't accepting exchanges, right, that were coming to me. So it's not that it wasn't there and wasn't existing. But anyway, I'm tossing around a lot in my head and trying to keep this video shorter than 10 minutes, which it was last time. But really thinking about humans as interdependent, humans as relationship dependent. Like, we are often thriving when we are in relationship and when that is a positive experience. And I think a lot about exchanges in relationship. I think we can all name one-sided experiences in our lives, whether that's friendships, mentorships, romantic situations, family stuff, lack of family. I think we can name things we have experienced as one-sided. And I also know the power, or what happens when we engage with others, is always an energy exchange. I also think about things like altruism, right? And what that really means and how that lives in our world. Like, is there ever anything that we're doing just to do it? Or in those times where we feel the least rested, right? Where are we getting our exchanges? Where are we seeking those exchanges? What kind of intention are we bringing to those processes? And I added people. First, this was going to be about people. So how do you reciprocate to the people who pour into you? And that was easy enough to ask. But then I was like, but what about the environments, like the places and spaces and situations and locations and regions that have also poured into us? And then I started to think about epistemologies, right? And epistemologies, that's in philosophy. Those are the theories of knowledge and understanding, right? And I don't know how else to describe epistemology. Like, I just think of it as like the root or origin of knowledge and understanding. And so the ways in which we receive the world, observe the world, understand the world are in epistemology, whether it's named or not. I might argue that my epistemology has increasingly been one of an ethic of Black love and care led by Kay Williams, one of my intentional mentors, and someone with whom I need to be much more intentional about that exchange. But epistemologies, I guess what kind of makes it different from ideologies, and I'm not even sure, I'll toss this out. What kind of makes it a little different from an ideology is that epistemology, so like the body of knowledge, tries to distinguish between belief and opinion, right? So how you come to understand the world is your epistemology. And we get that from somewhere. A lot of folks get it from family. Some folks get it from school environments. Some folks come at it with a group of people on their own. But whatever that is, like, how are we reciprocating to the places that pour into us? How are we experiencing being on the other hand of nurturing and cultivating in those spaces? And yeah, I don't know. That's just something that I'm finding to be a good question, I think, for now, especially like as we think about the way we might take leadership over our lives. So when I talk about leadership in the main prolific shifts, the hope is that that's really thinking about leadership in a specific context, in an educational context as a Black educator. But in the prolific shifts Sunday sit down space, this is leadership over your day, over your week, over your life, like whatever that might look like for you. When I really think about this for myself, I think that I am making a turn towards like really thinking about what it looks like to reciprocate to the environments that have given so much to me over time. Like there are tangible things like when I'm serving for Kenyon as alumni council president, like that's a give back, but Kenyon, the institution, isn't the people who poured into me. It's not the Marla Comans, the Yvonne Garcias, Glenn McNair, Sarah Heights, Deborah Laycock. Like it's not all, like, I don't, y'all, who didn't pour into me at Kenyon for real? But that reciprocity for me right now is living with the institution. And what I would like to think about is ways to have that continue to live with the people who poured into me. And when I think about it in terms of epistemologies, I think of everything that I know and believe about Black love and care. And when I have received that knowledge, received that understanding, received that wisdom, I think the way that I've tried to reciprocate is to ground my work, my values, my actions, my reflections in that epistemology as a way to reciprocate. So reciprocity isn't always about like what you can buy for someone or an exchange of service. Like it doesn't have to be that. Maybe that is the nature of the exchange for some folks, but it's also about like your energies, like where you put your energy, where you how you honor yourself in your life in that work. And so those are the things I'm tossing around my head. I hope y'all take some time and really think about this. I don't know how much time we spend thinking about it, but I know that when things get hard and when things get uncomfortable and when there's a break in the relationship or rupture in the relationship with the people or the environments or the epistemologies that have poured into us, when there's a break, then people start counting up who did what and who didn't, or, you know, what have I done, what have I not done. But I like the idea of orienting our reflection and action towards it so that we can be forward thinking about what can be as opposed to what has been in some ways. So again, the question is, how do you reciprocate to the people, environments, and epistemologies that have poured into you? And this week's action item is asking you to examine your supportive and nurturing relationships, past, present, or ones that you're currently cultivating, and think of a way to honor at least one of those relationships this week, and then do it. So don't just think of how you can honor it this week between Sunday, December 17th and Sunday, December 17th, between Sunday, December 12th and Sunday, December 19th, make sure that you honor one of those relationships in some way with some intention. All right, y'all. It's been good as always. I hope y'all take good care of yourselves this week. It is getting cold out here in these streets, and also windy this week for a lot of us in the Midwest, and those devastating tornadoes in Kentucky and other spaces. Take care of yourselves, take care of each other, show yourself the kind of love that you show others as well. That's another of my focuses this week on the side. And I'll see y'all next week with another question. All right, peace. If you liked anything you heard, please don't hesitate to comment, like, subscribe, or support in any of these ways, and especially through your love and care. Peace, and I'll see y'all again soon.